This week I will be giving a speech over the same topic as last week, which is why I think school should begin 1 hour later. And this is going to be pretty much a newer, improved version of my speech last week. And before I get started, I want to apologize for my voice. I've been sick, and I know I kind of sound like a man, but just try to ignore that and focus on the good parts of my speech. Here I go. Many students believe that school should begin an hour later. Beginning school during early hours can cause many problems. Early morning classes cause students to show up to class very tired and not very focused. Some students even come to class late due to tiredness or transportation issues. Many even skip their classes so they can get their extra hours of sleep. I have 3 issues with this topic, and they are: students are tired and not very focused in the morning, students are late to class or skipping class, and it is not safe for students to travel early in the morning. First, I'm going to talk about how students are tired and not very focused in the morning. During my first period class, I walk in the door and all I see are a lot of kids with their heads down, still like dozing off and not paying attention because of how early our school starts. And I'm guilty of this too because I'm not a morning person. I could go to sleep at 8:30, let's say, and wake up at 6:30 and still be tired. Like no matter how early I go to bed, I'm going to be tired in the morning. And I believe that a lot of students feel this way as well. And this is an issue because if you're falling asleep in class, dozing off and not focused, you're not going to get much out of that class. And this is an issue for me because my first period class is actually one of my hardest classes. It's a math class. And I'm not horrible at math, but it's definitely not my best subject. And I believe that if this class was an hour later, I would have time to wake up more and be more alert during this class and maybe get a little bit more out of it and not struggle with math as much. Also, in this class, we have a strict teacher, and if you're falling asleep, he's going to write you up and yell at you in front of the class, and no one wants to deal with that. So, all around, I think my first period class would be a better experience if it started about an hour later. Also, I have students are late to class or just skipping class. And I'm guilty of this. I've been in a rush in the morning, still to kind of half asleep, and I walk in the door past the tardy bell, and I've had to get a couple tardies in my first period class, and I know many students in my first period class have had to do this as well. And tardies to me are not that big of a deal, but obviously to my principal and other people at my school they are. And for 2 tardies, you have to get lunch detention or SWATs. And I've already had to have like 2 SWATs this year because of tardies, and that's something no one wants to deal with. And I know they're just trying to help us cut down on our tardies. Like, I'm not complaining that we have to get SWATs or lunch detention. I think it's a good idea. But if school started later, I think we would have less tardies. Also, I know a few kids who just skip some of their morning classes to get those extra hours of sleep they want, and they just show up either about third or fourth period or even after lunch. And that's a really bad idea because you can get a truancy ticket, and obviously you're not getting anything out of your morning classes if you're not even showing up to them. So maybe if school started an hour later, more people would show up to school or on time. And also, it is not safe for students to travel early in the mornings, especially in our area with all the old field traffic. I think we should wait an hour so we wouldn't have to deal with all the traffic. Also, my main issue with transportation is my friend, she lives about an hour away from our school because she lives on a ranch outside of town. And next year she will be driving to school because she'll have her license. And she wakes up at 4:30 to get ready for school. And I just can't picture a teenager who woke up at 4:30 being alert and focused while they're driving. I picture someone like dozing off, falling asleep, and there just has to be a day where she's going to be tired and not get to school safe, and waking up early is not worth it. We need to back it up an hour so we can get to school safe. To fix the problem of students falling asleep in class, not staying focused, and unsafe travels, and skipping school, I believe that schools should begin their first period classes 1 hour later. This would cause students to become more awake and alert during class and make it easier for them to show up to school on time.